Fox News alert for you. Neil Cavuto, the 22-year-old suspect of accused shooting 19 people, well, 6 fatally, now ordered held without bail, pending further court hearings. This is a new picture of him when he was in middle school. We should be providing that shortly. Loughner is facing murder charges and for the attempted assassination of a member of Congress, to say nothing of a federal judge. Lots of warning signs. So why didn't anyone seem to see this coming? Attorney Tamara Holder joins me right now. Tamara, it's not the first time people see the warning signs after the warning signs, but why does this keep happening?
I don't know. You know, there's a spider web of warning signs. The police, the school, the students, his peers, his parents had to have known, because the police went to Loughner's house and said, your son is going to be suspended from school for his behavior. So everybody knew about it and nobody did anything. The school suspended this kid instead of making him get some kind of treatment. Of course, you can't force someone, but, you know, offering it up instead of saying, go and do it yourself.
I just wonder, though, like you're always told, do you see anything unusual at all, anything untoward, you know, report it. Now, I work in Manhattan, Midtown Manhattan. Everything I see is unusual and weird, and everything looks suspicious. So where do I draw the line? How do I draw the line? How is someone's errant babbling to him or herself different from someone who could inflict serious harm?
Well, that's the problem. How do we know? How do we differentiate if it's just somebody who's a little off or somebody who's potentially violent? You know, there's a really interesting kind of side note to this. Facebook, which has 600 million users, they require people to post or flag things that are abusive or that seem you know, harmful to other members of Facebook. Now, why does somebody have a duty to report on Facebook, but there's no duty to report in the real world? It's a very interesting issue, and nobody wants to do anything until it's too late.
You know, we talk about a lot of lone gunmen or lone assassins or assassin wannabes. They all seem to share a same character trait, a little bit unusual, to put it mildly. You know, getting increasingly erratic in the years or months leading up to their act. It's a consistent theme. There must be consistent things we should look for then, right?
Well, yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. There has to be some kind of major shift in behavior here with all of these people. You know, a lot of Loughner's friends said that he was a football player in high school and that he was a musician and he was talented. And then in the last year or so, he kind of like fell off. So those are very, very clear warning signs. We're not talking about people who are just a little off, but have really changed their behavior drastically.
You know, these kind of charges get back to where do you draw the line, again, between that crazy behavior and someone who might inflict harm. And authorities will say, well, we can't arrest someone for making crazy remarks or acting out hostilely in class or what have you. Can they?
No, they have to have an actual crime or suspect somebody of a crime before bringing them into custody. And that's what's so bizarre about this kind of behavior. You know, Loughner didn't make any specific threats to anybody online or to another person. He was just acting crazy. So what could they arrest him for? They can't just arrest people who behave, you know, like nut jobs.
I'm wondering, though, it's the nut job that's the hardest to stop. I mean, it was John Kennedy who once said, if someone's really eager to shoot at me from a roof, I'm paraphrasing here, and take me out, they're gonna do so. In other words, if someone is really intent on doing something crazy, Secret Service agents themselves say they're the most difficult to guard against because they're the ones who pop out in the middle of a crowd or do what this guy did over the weekend, right?
Right, and that's why there's no legal duty to report, but there is an ethical duty to protect one another. This man had clear signs that he was going to behave in a potentially violent manner, and he did. There was a girl who wrote about it in an email that she thought he was going to come to school. So we need to look out for each other, whether you care about the person or not.